Are you thinking about buying a home in Hoover, Alabama? Whether you're relocating from out of state, moving across Birmingham, or possibly buying your first home, the process can be a little overwhelming if you don't know what to expect. So today, we're going to walk through the entire home buying process step by step. We're going to talk about how to choose the right agent, how do real estate agents get paid, getting pre-approved, starting that home search, and making the offer and inspections. And maybe even check out a few Hoover quirks that you need to know about before buying a home in Hoover. But before we dive in, I'm Steve Parker with P4 Realty Partners, your Hoover real estate family. We love helping families in Hoover and all across Birmingham buy, sell, and make smart real estate moves. So if you're thinking about relocating or just moving across town, always give us a call. You can reach out anytime. Check out the info below. But before you start looking at homes, the first step is to find out who is going to be the one to guide you through that process. Buying a home is not just about opening the door. A good buyer's agent will help you understand the market, compare neighborhoods, evaluate pricing, make a strong offer, negotiate the terms, manage any of those deadlines, and help with any of those surprises along the way. In Hoover, local knowledge matters. You want someone who understands the different neighborhoods, different school zones, maybe the commute patterns, HOA fees, and what houses are selling for right now. Because a home in Rossbridge, Bluff Park, Lake Wilborn, Black Ridge, Riverchase, any of those Hoover neighborhoods can look much different even at the same price point. Step 2 is you really should understand how your agent gets paid. This is something that your agent should explain early on in the process. Real estate compensation can vary depending on the agreement and the property. In many transactions, the seller may offer to cover some of that buyer agent compensation, but that's not always guaranteed. Before you start any transaction, your agent should explain to you what that compensation structure is, what your options are, and what that could mean for you financially. The important thing is that there are no surprises later on. Step 3 is you need to get pre-approved. Before you start the search, you need to get that pre-approval from a preferred lender. This helps you understand your price range, your monthly payment, your loan options, your down payment, closing cost, and especially what you can comfortably afford. It also makes your offer much stronger when that right house hits the market. In Hoover, homes in the right neighborhoods go very quickly, so having that pre-approval ready can make all the difference in securing that offer. Step 4 is understanding what your must-haves are. Once you know your budget, it's time to define what actually matters the most. This is where buyers need to get honest about their priorities. Do you care more about schools? Maybe commute times to downtown Birmingham, a bigger lot, the amenities in a neighborhood, cost and price range. All those things matter when deciding on which neighborhood to choose. In Hoover, each area offers something different. Rossbridge offers a master plan neighborhood with many amenities and walkability. Lake Wilborn offers newer construction and resort-style amenities. Bluff Park offers charm, mature trees, and a little bit closer commute to downtown Birmingham. Riverchase offers an established neighborhood with much larger lots. Trace Crossings offers convenience close to schools and a variety of home styles. Knowing your priorities really helps narrow down the time frame before you waste time looking for homes that really were never going to be a fit. Step 5 is understanding those specific market quirks. Every market has its quirks, and Hoover definitely has some of those. First, it's good to know that not every Hoover address is zoned for Hoover schools. If schools matter, you better make sure that you verify those school zones before making an offer. Second, HOA fees vary a lot by neighborhood. Some neighborhoods have little or no HOA fees. However, those master plan communities that offer nice amenities, pools, clubhouses, walking trails, they can have much higher HOA fees. Third, 2 homes at the same price can really offer very different lifestyles. A $500,000 home in Bluff Park can look really different from a $500,000 home in Rossbridge. Fourth, inventory in certain neighborhoods is really tight. If you're waiting for the perfect home in a very specific area, you may have to be patient and be ready to move quickly when the right one comes along. And we've put together a free buyer's guide that walks you through every step of the process, from getting pre-approved to finding the right home to making that offer and then getting to the closing table. I'll link that below so you can grab your copy. Step 6 is starting that house hunt. When all of your priorities are listed and you've gotten your pre-approval, it's time to begin looking for the right home. This is when you'll start touring homes, comparing those neighborhoods, and finding out exactly what your budget will buy in Hoover. Online photos are a great place to start, but they don't always tell the whole story. When you're touring homes, you may want to pay attention to the layout, the lot size, maybe the storage that's there, traffic patterns in the neighborhood, just how the community feels, how close is it to schools, and anything that's related to the condition of the home, maybe the age of the roof, the HVAC, water heater, and any of those major systems. Remember, the goal is not just to find a pretty house, but also to find the perfect house that fits your family needs. Step 7 is making that offer. When you find the right house, it's time to make that offer. And remember, your offer is much more than just the purchase price. It may include the closing date, inspection items, appraisal terms, any other negotiations and seller concessions that you may be asking for. A strong offer depends on the property and the competition. Sometimes you need to be aggressive, but other times there may be room to negotiate. That's where the local market knowledge really matters. Step 8, going through that home inspection. Once your offer is accepted, that is typically when your home inspection period starts. This is your opportunity to learn more about the home and get an idea of what concerns there may be to you before you get to the closing table. A home inspection can uncover those issues with the roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, maybe the foundation, possibly drainage issues, appliances, and much more. Depending on those findings, you may ask the seller to make certain repairs, maybe offer some concessions in price, or you may move forward as is. Remember, the goal is not to find the perfect house. The goal is to understand what you're buying. One thing that's fairly unique in Alabama is understanding termite protection. Because termites are common in Alabama, we truly believe it is a good idea to have a termite bond in place. That's why we address this in our contracts. Before closing, there's typically a wood infestation report done, which is the termite inspection, and we'll work with the seller to see if their bond can be transferred to you or if a new one is required. For many buyers that may be relocating from out of state, they may not have had to deal with a termite bond before, but this is something we can walk through with you and explain all along the way. We highly recommend having that termite bond in place to protect your investment in the future. Step 9 is that appraisal, final underwriting, and all the final conditions. After inspections, your lender will continue to work on your loan approval. The home will typically have an appraisal just so it can confirm the value for your lender. Then it will go to underwriting. During this time, you'll also finalize your loan paperwork, shop around for those insurance quotes, review the title work, call all the utility companies, and prepare for your closing date. Don't forget about making those moving details. Moving trucks are always on a schedule, so you need to plan well in advance for that. This part of the process is not always exciting, but it's very important. Step 10 is the final walkthrough and closing. Typically, right before closing, you'll want to do a final walkthrough of the house. This is your chance to make sure that the house is still in an expected condition and that any agreed repairs have been done. Then comes closing day. You'll sign the final documents, all the funds will be transferred, and once everything is signed and complete, you'll get your keys. Buying a home in Hoover is not just about shopping online and writing an offer. It's about choosing the right agent, knowing your budget, comparing those neighborhoods, understanding the school zones, maybe choosing the right lifestyle, and making smart decisions all along the way. The buyers who have the smoothest experience are usually the ones who have had made plans well in advance. And if you're thinking about making a move, reach out to us. We would love to help you figure out what makes the most sense for your family. And if you want to learn more about the Birmingham community, check out this video here. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any videos about buying, selling, or living in Hoover or the Birmingham area.